I have a special treat for you today. This is a coaching session I did for the LDS Life Coach Directory. They do a free coaching call on the first Thursday of every month. And when you sign up in advance, they will even try to pair you with a coach who specializes in whatever you're dealing with. It's a super fun way to try coaching and experience new coaches. I put links in the show notes if you want to check it out. Enjoy. Welcome to the Live Free, Love Life podcast, where we discuss how to create more freedom so we can love our lives no matter what we're going through. Hey there. Before we dive into today's coaching session, I want to share something powerful with you. You know what's amazing about coaching? You don't have to be the one in the hot seat to experience transformation. When I first discovered coaching, I was part of a huge membership program with thousands of members. I never even got the chance to be coached directly, but that didn't stop me from completely changing my life just by listening to other people's coaching sessions. In fact, coaching had such a profound impact on me that I signed up for coach certification before I was ever coached myself. Crazy, right? So as you listen today, I want you to put yourself in this client's shoes. Their specific situation might be different from yours, but I promise the underlying thoughts and feelings are universal. Notice what comes up for you. What thoughts do you relate to? What feelings resonate? What insights could you apply to your own life? Remember, transformation happens when we're willing to look at ourselves with curiosity and compassion. So let's dive in and let this coaching session be exactly what you need today.
What can I help you with? So that I think is a perfect fit for me because I am an adoptive parent. So I have a blended family with biological kids and adopted kids. My coaching niche is actually coaching foster and adoptive parents through all the challenges of raising traumatized kids. I am trying to grow my business, but at the same time, I find myself fighting a battle of being visible, putting myself out there. And I know up until now, I've been coaching for 3 years. I've had a lot of word of mouth referral clients, but that's kind of drying up at this point. And I know that I need to actually build a business and have a steady client flow coming in. There are over 200,000 foster parents out there, and that doesn't include the adoptive parents. So there's a large pool of people who need help. But I really find a lot of resistance comes up when I go to put myself out there or make offers or post in all of the different foster and adoptive groups that I'm a part of. So I'd really like to get some help with that. And then I know
Telling
the
them
ones as well. So
what's the resistance about?
that is a good question. I think over the course of the time that I was raising my kids, my youngest is 29 now, there was a lot of judgment. I had a lot of people tell me that I was doing everything wrong. They would never parent their kids the way I was parenting my kids. I was doing my best to stay in tune with Heavenly Father and let Him help me raise these kids because there was so much trauma. Every abuse you can imagine happened to these kids, and it was 6 siblings. So I found myself withdrawing a lot and just kind of isolating myself from people I thought would be my really good friends and kind of help support me through some of this, were some of the most critical of what I was doing and how I was trying to raise my kids. And so I think coming out of that, I'm better at putting myself out there with meeting new people.
And that relates. Like, you had a lot of judgment when you were doing the thing, but now you're going to post. Tell me how they are connected.
I think I am too concerned about reactions to the post. If I post, then when people read the post, what is their thought going to be, right?
Well,
They get to be okay with what I'm posting. Am I going to get criticized for what I'm posting? Am I going to...
Well, let's answer those questions.
What is their reaction going to be?
I don't know. I presume about 50-50, positive to negative.
Okay, let's just for fun and just say that's true. 50% of the people who see this post are going to have some sort of negative reaction. Why is that a problem?
I think I take it too personally.
What does it mean about you if they have a negative reaction?
I think it means that I'm still doing it wrong.
Why would their reaction mean that you're doing it wrong?
I think because I heard that so many times while I was parenting that I was doing it wrong. It's an automatic thought that comes up. I must be doing it wrong.
So tell me, what is the post that you could create that 100% of people have what we'd call a positive reaction to?
It probably doesn't exist.
Okay, so you've set yourself up for a situation where you can only ever be wrong. Because someone will probably always have a negative reaction, right? And that reaction is based on their past, their experiences, their trauma, their coping mechanisms, all the things. Always someone's going to have a negative reaction. But to your brain, that means you're wrong. That means you can only ever be wrong.
I think that's an accurate description.
What do you think
I
about
don't
that?
think I recognize that, but I do think that's what comes up.
Okay. Why does it mean that if even one person doesn't agree that you're wrong? Like, yes, we have some habit thinking, but let's play with your brain. Brain, really, truly, why does it mean that? If someone disagrees or has a negative reaction or has judgment about it, it means I'm wrong.
I think it might tie back to several of the people who consistently told me I was doing it wrong were my family.
Yeah. And were you doing it wrong?
I don't know.
I mean, how old are you got?
I never know.
Hmm.
I think that um, I think for a long time, I looked at what my kids were struggling with and the challenges they were facing. If I was doing it right, they wouldn't have such difficult challenges.
Oh.
Um,
Tell me how we know that's not true. That parents can do an amazing job and their kids still have challenges.
well, I think Heavenly Father's kids had challenges. So I think that I've worked through a lot of that. I think it comes up when I go to put myself out there. I need to get it cleared up enough that I can move forward without concern about that being there in the background all the time.
Tell me what is scary about being wrong.
I think, how can I help somebody else if I'm doing it wrong?
Okay, let's answer that. Okay,
I can't.
that's true.
When it comes. I think that's what I believe is that if I'm doing it wrong, how am I going to help somebody else to face their challenges if I don't know how to do that? If I can't.
And by it is a very big category. Like, give me something specific.
I don't think there's a correct way to parent because I think that every child is unique and has unique needs and challenges. Uh,
Let me just question that a second. Like maybe there's not a universal right way, but it could be that every parent has a right way, right? The way you do it with your very specific kids could be the right way, and it could look totally different than
Yeah.
somebody else with their very specific kids. And the way they're doing it is their right way,
yeah.
right? Because notice, like, the reason I'm finding this now is your language again made it so that you can't ever be right. There's like no right way. There's no correct way. Your brain keeps setting you up so that you can only ever be wrong.
Yep.
Yeah. Tell me what you think about that.
I think that's true.
Is that how you want it to be?
No. Clearly not.
Well, if there's no way for us to know universally the right way,
Mhm.
what if we just get to decide, right? You're listening to the spirit. You're doing the very best you can. You're learning and growing and improving all the time. What's in the way of just deciding that you're doing it the right way? There's no way to know the universal right way. There's nothing else available to you, right? Like this is like, you're doing it. You're doing all the things. Why not just decide that's the right way for you?
Good question.
Tell me what's in the way. Like if we were just going to decide that, we're like, no, we're going to make this decision. Tell me the resistance that comes up. What's in the way of just making that decision?
I think my confidence in believing it.
Okay. Why don't you believe it?
I've not figured that out.
What would it take to believe it?
Make the decision and not question it.
And you don't actually have to be certain, right? So sometimes being in a blended family, me and my husband completely disagree about parenting. Okay. The way I parent my kids and the way he parents his kids, it's a thing. And sometimes he'll say something like, you're doing that wrong. But now that I've done this work, my answer is generally like, maybe. I mean, it could be. I don't know. I don't know the universal right way to do this. The only thing I can do is trust my intuition as their mother, and I can trust the spirit to guide me, and I'm doing my best to be in touch with both of those things. So yeah, me doing it wrong. But this is the way that feels in integrity. Like if I did another way, I'd feel out of integrity with myself. It wouldn't feel right. This is what feels right. So it must be the right thing for me right now. Even if my kids still struggle, even if they still have challenges, even if the outcome doesn't look the way I hoped it would, it still doesn't mean I'm doing it wrong. Like maybe, right? Maybe I'm doing it wrong, but I'm doing my best. And that's all I can ask of myself. Tell me how that feels.
I think I'm okay with that on a personal level with my parenting and my kids. It's harder for me to get there with coaching other parents.
Okay. Tell me about that.
I think there's a lot tied up there. I feel a level of responsibility to help them.
Okay.
So then if I can't help them,
Well, let me stop you. It sounds like your brain is saying, in order to help them, I have to tell them the right way. And I'm not entirely confident this is the right way. Therefore, I can't help them and nor can I post.
Yeah.
So let's question that. Like when I post, I'm not telling people, hey, this is the right way. I don't ever like say those words. I'm like,
Yeah.
here's something that's been super helpful for me. Go try it.
Yeah.
Why does your brain think in order to help them, you have to tell them the right way?
I think I probably have some perfectionist tendencies. I don't know.
Tell me how you could help them without telling them the right way.
Right now, I try to post on specific topics and then just share my experiences with those topics.
Do you have resistance to those posts?
Those are easier for me. That's where I've tried to just get in the flow of posting there. I think the issue that comes up for me with that is I'm not making offers when it comes time, a call to action in the post or to make an offer. That's where I get stopped. I'll put the post up and everything is good, but I don't actually put any
Because
offer or call to action. What if they reach out to me and I can't help them?
okay, let's answer that. What if they do?
Then hopefully I know someone else I can pass them on to and say, we're not a right fit. This isn't working well, but here's a link to the LDS Coach Directory. Maybe you can find somebody there that's a better fit.
Okay, what's scary about that?
Good question. It sounds so easy when I say it. It's when I go to do it that it gets harder.
Like, let's just imagine us doing that. We put the call to action on the post. Someone reaches out and you're like, oh, actually, I don't think I can help you. I'm going to refer you here. Like, imagine that scenario. What's scary about that?
Maybe I feel a responsibility to help everybody that reaches out.
What?
I think maybe because I didn't come into coaching. I hear so many coaches say that they were coached and they had these experiences that made such a difference for them that they became a coach to help other people because it helped them so much. I became a coach not even knowing what a life coach was because Heavenly Father asked me to become a life coach. And I had to go figure out what that was and what that meant.
Okay, so if he asked you to do it, why would he ask you to do something that you can't do?
Because he trusts me to do this.
Why would he send someone to you if you can't help them?
I think it all centers around that trusting myself.
Yeah. But he knows you better than you know you, right?
Yeah.
He knows things about you can't remember. He knows your capabilities. He knows what your gifts are and your talents and like, he knows literally everything. And he's trusting you with one of his precious children. If he puts that much trust in you, why are you not trusting yourself?
Probably need to trust him. But if he trusts me, I can trust myself.
How does that feel when you say that? If he trusts me, I can trust myself.
A little daunting.
Okay. So maybe not the best thought to choose. What if we just started with curiosity? I wonder why he trusts me so much.
I've questioned that numerous times.
No, I don't mean question with self-judgment. Remember, I said curiosity. If we were being truly curious.
But I have asked that question, that specific question.
So what's the answer? What answer did you come up with?
That because he trusts me, I need to trust myself.
And how does that make you feel? I can feel the need when you say it. It didn't sound like it felt good.
It was a little heavy.
How about if he trusts me, I'm willing to consider trusting myself.
That definitely feels better.
At least a step forward.
Yeah.
What do you think is in the way of trusting yourself? Like if we were imagining you're walking down a trail and there's like a big boulder in the pathway. What is that boulder?
Probably my expectations.
And what are those expectations?
That I shouldn't be struggling with all of this.
Well, no.
My kids are all doing pretty well. A couple of them are really struggling, but they're maintaining at the moment.
I don't know. So that means you should struggle with this?
I think it means that I shouldn't, in regards to expectations and why I shouldn't have those expectations. I have recommendations from the people I have coached that they have been helped and that has been a really good experience. I have evidence that I can do this. I have evidence that I know how to do this. I have evidence that I can help people get through those challenges. I have evidence that I got through the challenges, that I am helping my kids get through some challenges.
So having evidence means you shouldn't struggle with it.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that's just not how the human brain works. Maybe these struggles are totally normal. There's nothing wrong with you. And you get to make a new choice whenever you want to. But let's make that choice from not making you wrong for being where you're at. Where you're at is fine. It's part of your journey. If you are struggling right now, it's because you were always going to struggle right now. There's nothing wrong with where you're at or with you. It's just, okay, this is where I'm at. Is it where I want to stay? Do I want to make different choices? Do I want to shift my brain? And if you don't, it's fine too. Because again, there's nothing wrong with where you are or who you are. So just from a place of pure curiosity, we're putting all judgment aside just for a couple minutes. Brain, this is really interesting. We have lots of evidence that we can do this. Why are we choosing to hold on to this self-doubt? Why are we not just choosing to trust ourselves? It's interesting. It's curious. It's fascinating because we're not judging ourselves. We're like, oh, interesting. My brain really wants to hang on to this for some reason. What's that reason? And do I just want to make a different choice? Even if I can't find the reason. I'm like, well, brain, you know what? I'm ready to make a new choice. I'm ready to let it go. We have plenty of evidence so we can do this. What's coming up for you?
But it's been a lifelong pattern. I think my dad lost his job. We lost our home. We ended up moving into a condemned apartment building. And from then, we really struggled financially. And I mean, what would be today would be considered bullying. Back then, it was just the way kids behave, right? But there was always a continual message that I wasn't good enough. I didn't have the right clothes. I didn't have the right this, that, or the other. I didn't live in the right house. I didn't live in the right neighborhood. I think it's pretty deeply ingrained that I'm not good enough.
What do you want to do with that moving forward?
Definitely let go of that.
So let's remember, deeply ingrained does not mean we can't let go of it. Doesn't mean it's impossible. It doesn't even mean it will be hard. It just means that our brains love to do things on repeat.
Yeah.
Plus, only 5% of our brain is available for conscious thinking. 95% is subconscious. So it tries to put everything into that automatic default system so it can run the things it needs to in the 5%, right? So it doesn't mean we can't get rid of it. It just means this is down in my default system. And the way to rewire that is over and over and over again. I'm going to notice, oh, brain, this is just our old habit thinking that I'm not enough. It's not true. I am enough. I'm perfect just as I am. I can do this. I have plenty of evidence that these things are true. We're going to move forward right now with these beliefs. And the next time you find your brain back in not enough again, you're like, hey, brain, remember? We don't believe that anymore. There's just an old program that we've been running. Come back over here with me. This is what we believe now. Now, it could take 1,000 times of doing this. It doesn't matter because, and it doesn't have to be hard. It's just, we just do the same thing again. Oh, brain. Hey, you forgot. We don't believe that anymore. Come over here with me. That's totally old programming. I can for sure post this. And some people aren't going to agree with it, and it's okay. It doesn't mean I'm not enough. It doesn't mean I'm wrong. It just means that is the nature of humans. There will always be people who disagree. Always. But I can't help people if I don't post things. I can't help people if I don't make an offer or put a call to action. And I want to help people. And I don't have to be perfect. And I don't have to know the universal right way. I have to show up and be myself and share who I am and my experiences. What do you think about that?
Feels true. It feels better.
Okay, how are you going to remind yourself?
I think just using that statement. That's not true. It's not true.
When maybe practicing, even writing down what is true. When I'm reprogramming my brain, I like to have a list ready. So the followed by that's not true. It's really easy to just pull it out and remind myself what is. Because sometimes I'm not necessarily in the state to remember, right? Especially if I've been triggered by something and I fall back into that not enough feeling. To have that ready to go, to be like, oh yeah, this is what's true. So you may also want to just write a list of all the things that you want to believe now. So after that's not true, if we need it, we can pull those out to remind ourselves. Sounds good?
Sounds good.
Awesome. Bonnie, you're amazing.
Okay.
Have an awesome week.
You too.
Thanks, Mindy. Thank you, Bonnie. It's a vulnerable place to put yourself in front of other people to be coached. And I appreciate that. So for those of you who are watching, who are not coaches, we have some people here that are watching that are coaches, and it happened that we had a coach getting coached today. And we have people here who are not coaches. And if you're just watching coaching for the first time, I would encourage you to even watch this replay, especially if you're coming in later. Watch the replay and think of as, put yourself in Bonnie's shoes. It might not be Bonnie's exact situation. You probably didn't foster 6 children. I don't know anybody else who has. It's amazing. But there might be something difficult in your life that you're wanting to do, and you have some past beliefs that are holding you back. And so you can put yourself in Bonnie's situation and imagine that, like Mindy's asking you those same questions. It can be very powerful to be somebody who's watching somebody else be coached. Bonnie, do you mind if I ask you a question really fast? I'm assuming you've been coached before and you are a coach. How does it Tell me a little bit about the experience for you getting coached, just for people who maybe haven't been coached before. What is the experience like?
I don't even know how to describe it. And I knew coming in, I intentionally asked because I know this is a struggle that I have to get past. And self-coaching has only helped me get to a certain point. So I think that it helps in that you can look at things from a little bit different perspective based on the questions that they ask you. And you can look a little bit deeper for something that maybe is below what you've seen before. So then it helps you pull that up. And when you can actually see it, then you can do something more about it. So we can't change the things that we can't see or don't recognize. So it helps you to, and I think that was the one, a big motivation for me to volunteer was I needed to see what I'm not seeing. What is it that's sitting there underneath that I'm not seeing that's holding me back that somebody else might be able to help me find and pull up so that I can address it so that I can move forward.
Mhm. Thank you. It is amazing what somebody else because Mindy is a very obviously she's not involved in the situation at all, and she can see things as a coach from a very different place that's not affected by the past in this situation. And so having a coach be able to show you some things from a clean space is really helpful.
All right, my friends, I hope you were able to apply that coaching to yourself. If you want to try out coaching, I'm looking for volunteers to be coached on this podcast. It's totally free and it would be super fun. Or, as I mentioned before, you can also check out the LDS Life Coach Directory and do it that way. 6 years later, and I still cannot believe how effective and life-changing coaching is. Give yourself the best gift ever and try it out. Thank you for watching this episode of Live Free, Love Life. Please subscribe to my channel and don't forget to like, comment, and share. See you next time.